Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be tackling some projects on a vehicle that we haven't really talked about. Let's hop into it. This is my 2021 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road 4x4. I bought this truck originally stock and since then have made a ton of mods to it, and we're going to continue to add some more in this video as well. This is what we're going to be working on. So we have a pop and lock. So this is a remote, so a key fob operated lock for your tailgate. So this is something I'm really excited about since I have that drawer system. That'll make it really nice. And then one of the other things is I'm unfortunately one of those people who have a ball hitch year round. Don't always pull trailers, but I still have the hitch. So what we're going to do is take that hitch off, throw it in the deck box. But I'm going to use this for my new reverse light, just to have a little bit more of a presence at nighttime. I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the hitch mount first from Diode Dynamics. Really excited about it. Saw a lot of good things online. I've had several things from them on other vehicles that I've had in the past with really good success. Everything honestly looks incredible. So let's go ahead and throw this on there and see what it looks like. When opening the box, it looks like we have some stickers. Looks like that's what that is. We have the light itself. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Along with our harness with a couple zip ties. The light looks really good. Really good quality. Cool. So let's go ahead and jump in and get this installed. I think it's going to be a major upgrade to get this off of here. But we'll start by taking that off and then we'll go ahead and start working on that light. So I'm not sure if this happens to anybody else, but in this case it's happening to me. The pin that holds the hitch in place, yeah, I lost the key for it. So if anybody else has done that, I don't feel as bad, but I guess let's probably cut it off. Never mind, junk drawer for the win, guys. Let's go ahead and take this off. Okay, so this is the harness. So the back of this will go into the back of the hitch pod, pretty straightforward. So this will get fed through the receiver. And then this is just basically an inline pigtail. So one end will go to the factory trailer hookup and the other end will go into the harness from the actual truck. Will connect into that. So let's go ahead and get this put on. So when on the underside of the truck, this connector is what we're going to be taking off. So this will come off and then this connector will plug into the new harness. The new harness will plug into that base. So let's try to get that off. Anybody wondering? There's just a little tab here, so you'll push in and this will pull right off. So let's go ahead and get this one installed. Let's see if we can do this one-handed. So have everything lined up. Give it a little tug, make sure it's clicked into place, which it is. And then the only thing left now is to get these two connectors together. However, I cannot do this one-handed. So let me put those together and then I'll be right back. And we are back. So was able to get this connected. I actually tucked it on the other side of the spare tire. This added a little bit of length to the harness, of course, so now a little bit tighter fit. Luckily this is at a 90-degree connector, so I'm not too worried about anything being damaged over time. And then lastly, we will take this in for the hitch pod and feed it right through the receiver onto the side. Ignore the Ohio rust on a hitch. Sadly, that's common. Went ahead and sprayed this down with some silicone just to help with the rust, kind of slow it down, keep it coated. There's not really much you can do once it starts. It's the unfortunate piece of it. So if this is the only thing rusted on the truck, I am not upset. But Now that we have this cable across, we'll go ahead, plug it into the hitch pod, and then we'll slide this into place. These two ears will clip into place on both sides. Alright, so now that this is in place, it's locked in, the only thing left to do is zip tie that harness up out of the way. Was by far one of the easiest mods I've done in a while. So now we're going to jump into the pop and lock, which is not going to be as easy, but we'll go ahead and get started with that. There's a little bit of wiring involved, but it's still plug and play. What more can you ask for in an install? So let's hop into that next. Okay, so for the next mod, we are going to be installing this pop and lock kit. Plug and play for the 2016 to 22 Tacoma. These are pretty inexpensive. From what I've seen on the market, you have this aftermarket pop and lock, and then you have the genuine Toyota lock, which is it's about a third of the cost more, but it's also a genuine Toyota part. So if that's something that matters to you, then that's something that you can look into. However, because it's plug and play, I'm fine with going this route. But just breaking down what's in the list or in the package, we have the actuator itself. So the current tailgate latch will actually ride in between this fork, and this fork, as it moves, is what's going to lock and unlock the tailgate. So that's nice. We'll still be able to utilize the key if we want to manually lock and unlock it. So big fan of that. Here we have the harness. This will run from the back of the truck all the way to the front and connect at the front. This little harness, if I remember correctly, it goes from the actuator, which will sit right about in here, tapers, comes through, it gets snaked through, and comes out right about here, where it then plugs into the larger harness. And inside this package, we have the tap. So this will allow us to tap right in to the factory harness at the driver's side floorboard. And there's also two fuses as well, so this entire actuator will be fused. That's a great thing, because if there was to be a surge of any sort, instead of this traveling through your truck all the way back to the actuator, fuses will blow right at the tie-in harness. So big fan of this. Everything seems to be really solid. But let's go ahead. We'll get this tailgate cover off. That'll allow us access to the back side of the key switch. Now that we have the cover off, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this small 10mm bolt. This is where that actuator will actually be mounting to, and this is the mechanism that it will move once it actuates back and forth. So let's go ahead and remove this 10mm nut so that we can get the actuator mounted. So with that removed, there is a larger 10mm that is supplied with the kit. So what we will go ahead and do is slide the actuator into place. Just like that, and add that 10mm. All right, so now we can go ahead and move on to the wiring. In the package, there is a smaller harness that is supplied. This will connect to the actuator, and it will go out from the tailgate into the back of the truck underneath it, where it will then connect to a larger harness. So what we need to do in the meantime is remove these two tabs. These are for the factory wiring loom. They're pretty easy to remove. as you can see, there's this one little tab. If you break these, it's not the end of the world because there are 2 that are supplied. So let's go ahead and get those off. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to show up on video. However, so these are what was supplied as, like, I guess a bulkhead or a pass-through for the tailgate. However, one thing I found with these is if you look at the top here, there is a block. So if your piece of metal sits right here, well, it's not going to sit there with this giant block. And if you see on the bottom, there is a place for it to sit through and actually lock in. So what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the Dremel and coming through and just kind of lobbing that off, and it's allowing the bulkhead, or whatever you want to call this, to sit perfectly fine there in the back. So just a piece of advice. Maybe not everybody has that issue, but with this particular kit, I had this one small issue that I'm having. That went a lot smoother. So once did a little modification to these tabs, everything went together much smoother. So they're a little zip tie on there, but I think that was good and it'll work and get the job done. So let's go ahead and get the cover on, so then we can start running the wire from back here to the front of the truck to the driver's side. So now that we have that wire back there, we get the fun task of running this larger harness that came in the kit from the back to the front floorboard of the truck, where then it ties into a factory harness. So let's hop underneath the truck and I can show you where that plug came out at. And all I'm going to be doing is following the factory wiring harness and just try to go on that and zip tie it as best as I can. Then once we get underneath the driver's side floorboard, I'll show you what we're going to do there. We are now underneath the truck. So right here is where my cord is lying after we ran it through. I think you can see that up there. Those pieces are pretty important. I think it really gives it a factory look. So we'll go ahead and plug this main harness in, this larger one that I was just showing you, and then we'll run it over to that side of the truck and up through the front. Let's go ahead and hop into that. So we have the wire ran up through the bottom. There's a hole that's right through here with a rubber grommet, so drilled a small hole in there. That way we can pull the wire up through. So now we'll just tuck the wire in this channel, and we'll go ahead and pull off this kick plate. Behind this kick plate is the harness that we're going to be tapping into to allow us to get power to the actual actuator itself. Go ahead and pop this off, that way we can tap into it. This kick plate off, we want to go ahead and get everything prepped. So with the wire that we ran on the end of here, it'll go into another little pigtail that is fused with male spade connectors on one end. And again, we still have our harness so we can tap in. What we're going to be looking for is a 10-pin connector. I don't know if you can see this. Mine is right back here. So yeah, so right back there you can see a red, yellow, and white wire. That's what we are going to be tapping into. So with that wire out, all we do is plug in our harness on one end, and then we will route this wire through here and snap it in just like that. So now with our wire tap, we can simply plug in the actuator. So with everything tapped in and the wires ran, we can go ahead and head to the back of the truck and actually test this out. And let's give it a go. Should probably close the doors real quick. Let's do that. Again with the doors closed. I would consider that a major win. So let's go ahead and button everything up front. Now that we've tested, we can get this panel on and the install will be complete. Alright guys, and that is it for this video. Made some progress on the truck, so that is a major win for the Tacoma. I'm pretty excited about that. We still have some other things coming up in the future, so I would like to have that truck on the channel a little bit more. We're still going to be working on the 370, along with some other projects that I have coming up as well. The channel is more of a documentation process for the vehicles that I have. That way I can look back on them and just see what we've done and see what we've got to accomplish with some cars. But as always, if you enjoy what you see, please drop a comment below, give a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more content. Peace.